Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Ramadava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivanadari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivanadari Yasodanandana Brajanaranjana Yasodanandana Brajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paravajrakacharya Astatar Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Navadvip Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Shrimati Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. I'm sorry? Okay. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, Text 24. These are Yamaraja's instructs his messengers. Etavatalam aganir haran nayapumsam Sankirtanam Bhagavato Guna Karmanam Nam Vikrushya Putram Agavan Yad Ajamil Lopi Narayanati Mriyamana Iyayamukim. Is there another better tune? Does one of the brahmacharis know a better tune? Okay, we'll try it again. Etavatalam agamnir haranya naya pumsam. Sankirtanam Bhagavato Guna Karmanam Nam. Vikrushya Putram Agavan Yad Ajamilopi. Narayanati Mriyamam Na Iyaya Mukim. Okay, would somebody like to say the verse? Do you do that? Sankirtanam Bhagavato Guna Karmanam Nam. Vikrusha Putram Magavanya Admikimopir. Narayanati Mani Hakim. sam. Any ladies want to try? Kirtanam Bhagavato Guna Karmanandam. Krishna Putra Makavanaya Dajamilopi. Etavata. With this much, alam, sufficient, aga nirharanaya, for taking away the reactions of sinful activities. Pumsam, of human beings. Sankirtanam, the congregational chanting. Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Guna, of the transcendental qualities. Karma namnam, of his names according to his activities and pastimes. The Krusha, crying to without offense. Putram, his son. Agavan, the sinful. Yat, since. Ajamila, api, even Ajamil. Narayana, the Lord's name. Narayan. Iti, thus. Mriyamana, dying. Iyaya, achieved. Muktim, liberation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, it should be understood that one is easily relieved from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of the Lord and chanting of his qualities and activities. This is the only process recommended for relief from sinful reactions. Even if one chants the holy name of the Lord with improper pronunciation, he will achieve relief from material bondage if he chants without offenses. Ajamil, for example, was extremely sinful, but while dying, he merely chanted the holy name, and although calling his son, he achieved complete liberation because he remembered the name of Narayana. Purport. In the assembly of Raghunath Das Goswami's father, Haridas Thakur confirmed that simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is liberated, even if he does not chant completely inoffensively. Smarta Brahmanas and Mayavadis do not believe that one can achieve liberation in this way, but the truth of Haridas Thakur's statement is supported by many quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam. In his commentary on this verse, for example, Sridhar Swami gives the following quotation. I'm just going to do the English because this is a long purport. If one always chants the holy name of the Lord with great devotion in the evening and in the morning, one can become free from all material miseries. Another quotation confirms that one can achieve liberation if one hears the holy name of the Lord constantly, every day, with great respect. Another quotation says, quote, one should always chant and hear about the extraordinarily wonderful activities of the Lord. One should meditate upon these activities, and one should endeavor to please the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 11.3.27. Sridhar Swami also quotes from the Puranas, quote, one can become free from all sinful reactions simply by remembering the lotus feet of the Lord day and night. Furthermore, he quotes from Bhagavatam 6.3.31. All these quotations prove that one who constantly engages in chanting and hearing of the holy activities, name, fame, and form of the Lord is liberated. As stated wonderfully in this verse, etavalam aga nirharanaya pumsam. Simply by uttering the name of the Lord, one is freed from all sinful reactions. The word alam, which is used in this verse, indicates that simply uttering the holy name of the Lord is sufficient. This word is used with different imports. As stated in the Amara Kosha, the most authorized dictionary in the Sanskrit language, alam pushana paryapti shakti varana vachakam. The word alam is used to mean ornament, sufficiency, power, and restraint. Here the word is used to indicate that there is no need of any other process, for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is sufficient. Even if one chants imperfectly, one becomes free from all sinful reactions by chanting. This power of chanting the holy name was proved by the liberation of Ajamil. When Ajamil chanted the holy name of Narayan, he did not precisely remember the Supreme Lord. Instead, he remembered his own son. At the time of death, Ajamil certainly was not very clean. Indeed, he was famous as a great sinner. Furthermore, one's physiological condition is completely disturbed at the time of death, and in such an awkward condition, it would certainly have been very difficult for Ajamil to have chanted clearly. Nevertheless, Ajamil achieved liberation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Therefore, what is to be said of those who are not sinful like Ajamil? It is to be concluded that with a strong vow, one should chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For thus, one will certainly be delivered from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Krishna. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is recommended even for persons who commit offenses, because if they continue chanting, they will gradually chant offenselessly. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, one increases his love for Krishna. As stated in by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Pumarto Mahan. One's main concern should be to increase one's attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to increase one's love for Him. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:19-24. Quote, my dear Uddhava, the supreme religious system for human society is that by which one can awaken his dormant love for me. Commenting on this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the word bhakti by saying prema evokta, ka anya arta asya. In the presence of bhakti, what is the necessity of liberation? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also quotes this verse from the Padma Purana. Even if in the beginning one chants the Hare Krishna mantra with offenses, one will become free from such offenses by chanting again and again. Papa shashas chabhavati smaratam tam aharnisham. One becomes free from all sinful reactions if one chants day and night, following the recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who quoted the following verse, Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalova Nasteva, 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 Gatir Anyata. Quote, in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. If the members of the Krishna consciousness movement strictly follow the recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their position will always be secure. Om Jnanatim Randasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshur Om Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagojatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamischa Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jina Bandhu Jigapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, this little introduction they asked me to do. Just 2 minutes. So we'll introduce Mataji and her book quickly. So Mataji is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. At the age of 21 in 1975, Mataji took initiation from Srila Prabhupada. She has been a daughter of Protestant minister and counseling and guiding as a part. She has seen right from the beginning of her life. Since 2007, she has been associated with Barsana ICAM and she has been serving there. And her best contributions are actually these 2 books, Entering the Gap and Finding the Gap. Of course, apart from this, she is also mother of 3 children and grandmother of 3 children. So these books, just few lines from Varsana Maharaj, actually, amazing book. He's given amazing introduction to this book. So I also went a little bit through this book, and although we have got the best process, Krishna consciousness, and we must be in ecstasy every moment, that every step we're supposed to be in ecstasy, but how many of us we feel insecurity, fear, anxiety, stress, loneliness, frustration, right? All of us, many times we feel. So, and we find how to come out of this, why we are not experiencing what we are supposed to experience. So, Mataji has offered very practical tools to going through all these emotions and experiencing the joy which Krishna consciousness movement is supposed to give us. So Maharaj writes, actually we are simulating Krishna consciousness, but we need to emulate Krishna consciousness. We have learned the theory of Krishna consciousness, but we have not learned the practical aspects of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has given us the honorary degree of Krishna consciousness, but we need to understand actually it's just an honorary degree. We got to realize and learn the tools and techniques given in Krishna consciousness movement. So Maharaj writes that Srila Prabhupada has blessed her with sincerity, with a holistic understanding of dynamics, which are needed to become a mature devotee actually, and overcome the challenges offered by the evils and perils of Kali Yuga. And the last line, Maharaj mentions that this Gaudiya Vaishnava line is the most sublime culture of spiritual world descending on this material planet. But to practice that spiritual world culture, at every step we need to refine our relationships, and we have to base this society based on the platform of love and trust rather than insecurity, fear, force. So how to practice love and trust in this system has been guided by her through these books. Actually, a couple of books Mataji has written. So it's a wonderful introduction Maharaj has given in this book, and definitely devotees can find great help if they go through this book. Thank you very much, Mataji, for being here and
Krishna.
guiding us.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class. And I just ask the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis and all my elders and those who know scripture to please bless me that I may say something relevant and practical for our lives within Krishna consciousness. So this verse, Yamaraj is instructing the Yamadutas. So the Yamadutas have come to take away Ajamil because even though he was a Brahmana in his youth, and he was very strict, at some point in his life, he became attached to a prostitute and didn't really get out of that stuck place. He had children by this woman, and because he did have some pious activities in his earlier life, he named one of his sons Narayan. Now we see this in the Indian culture. Many parents sometimes name their children names of Krishna. So this is a very pious culture. So he named his son Narayan. Now at the time of death, which Prabhupada explains, it's a very confusing time. The body and the mind are going through a lot of turmoil. And in this confusing time, Ajamil, out of desperation, called out for his son, Narayana, Narayana, desperately. Now, it does say that he called out, in one sense, just completely thinking of Narayana. Now, he wasn't thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he was definitely focused on the name Narayana, even though he was calling actually for his son. So then, when the Yamadutas came, because they had calculated all of his sinful activities, they calculated, Jai, Hare Krishna. They had calculated all his sinful activities, and according to their calculations, he was their property, and they were going to take him away. So they came, but then the Vishnu Dutas came and pushed them away and said, no, you can't take him. He comes with us. The Vishnu Dutas took him. So the Yamadutas are quite confused at this. Like, what's going on here, right? We did all our calculations were correct. He should be coming with us. So Yamaraj is explaining to the Yamadutas the power of the holy name. Now, this verse is really, really exemplifying in this chapter, this story, and especially this verse, is really emphasizing the power of the holy name. Now, this is the age of quarrel and confusion. And we notice that everywhere, even in our own lives, even within the temple, there is some quarrel. And sometimes there is some confusion. Kali Yuga is the most degraded of the 4 yugas. It's a very tough yuga. In the other yugas, Satya Yuga, people were in the mode of goodness, and they lived for so many years, and they practiced pious activities and offerings and sacrifices. And in the other yugas, they were meditating and praying. There was still a lot of mode of goodness in the other yugas. However, in Kali Yuga is dominated by passion and ignorance. Dominated by passion and ignorance. Now, specifically in this Kali Yuga, there's a really extra benediction that we got that Lord Chaitanya came. And Lord Chaitanya came just a little over 500 years ago. And he specifically came to bring the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. He specifically came to bring that because in this age, we can't get out of this samsara. We can't get out of this samsara without some special mercy, some special help from the Lord. And so Lord Chaitanya came, and he specifically brought this Maha Mantra so that we have at least a chance of getting out of here. Now, interestingly enough, also in this purport, it talks about the Brahmanas and the Mayavadis and the Smarta Brahmanas and the Mayavadis. They really have this conception that mantras have to be chanted exactly perfectly to have the full effect, right? That's the Brahminical way, and that's why only Brahmanas can do sacrifices, because they know exactly how to chant perfectly. Obviously, I don't know how to chant very perfectly. You saw how my chanting the Sanskrit was a little combobulated there. So luckily for me, Lord Chaitanya has come, and previously, the mantra that is the Sanskrit mantra, which was chanted, was Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That is the Sanskrit mantra. And that's why sometimes you hear many Indian persons, I don't know if you hear them, but I hear them, they say Hare Rama, they come up, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. They put Rama first. That's the Vedic mantra. Now, Lord Chaitanya flipped the mantra specifically because he wanted to make it so that it was not a Vedic mantra. This is the Maha Mantra, and this Maha Mantra does not have to be chanted exactly perfectly to have power. It's so powerful, even if it's mispronounced or not chanted perfectly, it still has power. It's infused with power. So, and Prabhupada is giving so many explanations and verses to just show the power of the holy name. He was bringing this holy name. He was reviving this movement of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya's movement is focused around the holy name. Like that is the center. And Srila Prabhupada came to revive this, not only revive it and spread it to every town and village. This was a huge, huge vision. This was a huge vision and mission that he has to spread this to every town and village. And not the Vedic mantra, the Maha Mantra. So in this verse, he's really, showing everyone, whether they're Smarta Brahmanas, Mayavadis, Westerners, or anybody from any other country, he's really wanting to show the power of the holy name. The holy name is so powerful. We need to add this into our life. We need the holy name. Now, sometimes not much time left. Sometimes we take these verses. Now, in these verses, they say one who chants day and night, constantly, will attain freedom from the sinful reactions. Sometimes we misconstrue this a little bit and say, if I just chant, I'm going to go back to Godhead. Now, it doesn't exactly say that. It says if one chants day and night, remembering the Lord day and night, one can become free from sinful reactions and attain liberation. And sometimes we make this, misconstrue this, that, oh, the holy name is so powerful, I just have to chant, and everything else will just disappear. All my sinful reactions will disappear. And there is that power in the holy name. There is that power in the holy name. However, we also need to remember that one of the offenses is to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. When we chant the holy name and sinful activities, sinful reactions may be disseminated. However, if we're still in the habit, we may commit sinful activities again and again and again and again and again. We may make offenses. We may say offensive things again and again and again. And then if we keep chanting to be relieved of the reactions of our sinful activity, that may happen. However, really, the purpose of the chanting of the holy name is what Srila Prabhupada ended his purport with. The ending is the important part. The chanting of the holy name is the only way, but the chanting of the holy name is the process by which one can awaken his dormant love for me. And it also says that by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, one increases his love for Krishna. So we are in the process of bhakti yoga. Now, the chanting of the holy name can help everyone, but as bhaktas and bhaktins, we're aspiring for love of God. We're aspiring for love of God. We're not just aspiring for liberation, and we're not just trying to get free from the reactions. Now, generally, a lot of us, and in the world in general, we just want free from our sinful reactions. We don't want the reactions to what we have done. And this kind of avoiding and trying to use the holy name to get out of the reactions of our offenses, we're trying to use an escape clause. Like sometimes in law, there are little loopholes, and people use loopholes to not pay their taxes and all kinds of things like that. And however, we don't want to use the holy name as a loophole. The holy name is not a loophole to get away from the reactions of our sinful activities. The holy name is a precious, precious, precious gift to help us to learn how to love and how to really open our heart to love of Godhead. And in order to come to that place of loving God, we need to experience some of the reactions of our sinful activities. Please let me feel those reactions so that I can really deepen and deepen my consciousness and deepen my love for you. Not that I want to just escape the reactions from my sinful activities. There's a difference in consciousness. And now, of course, this story proves that Krishna can do anything. Krishna can do anything. He can liberate someone who actually had a lot of sinful activities. Ajamil was liberated. He did have to go through a little bit more purification, and I'm not quite sure if he went exactly back to Goloka Vrindavan. There's a difference between liberation and going to Goloka Vrindavan. And also, Kamsa thought of Krishna and chanted Krishna's name all the time. However, he did not get the same position as exactly what we as devotees are looking for. We're looking for love of God. We're looking for Goloka Vrindavan. We don't want to use the holy name as a loophole. We want to become attached to the holy name. And I don't know about you, but I'm not able to chant the holy name day and night. I'm practicing to chant. I'm practicing to connect my heart in love to Krishna. And this practice and this endeavoring not to get away from our sinful reactions, but to somehow, Krishna, purify me, purify my consciousness. Please help me to relish your holy name. As the 6 Goswamis, these 2 syllables, Krish and Na, contain so much bliss and love. If we can have that consciousness, that is really what Prabhupada wanted for us. He wanted us to elevate our consciousness, to open our heart, and to purify ourselves. And so, to me, this verse is really about understanding the extreme mercy of Krishna, sending Lord Chaitanya, extreme mercy of Lord Chaitanya, giving us this Maha Mantra, and the extreme mercy of Srila Prabhupada traveling all over at the age of 70 to spread this expedited way to somehow or another get out of this Kali Yuga and go back to Godhead. So I did want to leave a little time for some questions. If there are any questions or comments or corrections, please, I want to hear if there's anything anybody wants to say about this verse. It's a long verse. Any comments, questions, thoughts? Can someone, there's a mic up here. I can't really see so far away, so I can't see who's. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for a wonderful class. So it is said that we should chant in the mood of Trinadapi Sunijena. But in our daily activities, the way we interact and the consciousness that we have, so it is not possible. I mean, it is not easy to reach to that level and maintain, or even to reach. So how to do that?
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, this third verse of Lord Chaitanya is like so powerful. You know, one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street, more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer respects to others without expecting respect. So this is Lord Chaitanya himself, and he's the one who gave us the holy name. So he's really telling us the way in which we need to chant. For me, what I see, humility is like something really high. And it's also, if we think we're humble, we are probably going to be, if we think we're humble, we might be proud that we're humble. So I really steer clear of the word humility because I don't want to take any chances. I mean, I have enough pride. I just don't want to think that I'm humble. However, for me, what really helps me is honesty and self-honesty. If I can be honest with the mistakes that I make, with what I can and can't do, that honesty keeps me a little bit from being too much in the clouds. Now, I didn't have that honesty for the first 27 years of my Krishna consciousness. I thought I was doing all the right things, And so I thought I was really up here, and really I was way down here. So we don't want to imagine where we are. We want to be honest and real. And so honesty keeps us kind of on the ground a little bit. When we make mistakes, or when Krishna, gives us a little purification, it's actually his mercy. Like, excuse me, by the way, you have a few more things to work on here. And so that helps us to stay grounded in our Krishna consciousness. So that's what I do with humility. And respect, it's interesting because respect sometimes has a lot to do with status, position, being, let's see, status, position, like making, getting respect could make me feel good about myself. Now, if I feel bad about myself, I'm going to really, really, really need to grab respect from other people, because I don't have any. And we all need to feel some kind of validation that we have some worth. If we don't feel like we have any worth, we can get discouraged and depressed and think that that's humility. So if we have no respect for ourselves, we're going to really, really be kind of grabbing for respect out here. However, when we can respect ourselves, respect that we're a jiva tattva, even respect that we make mistakes, and we can be honest, then the need to grab respect from outside will definitely come down. So that's something that we can work on, and it's a process. However, I do talk about that in the book a little bit. So when we can respect ourselves, we don't expect or need respect from the outside. It's kind of interesting, because we think that, I should feel so low. I don't have to feel low. I am a teeny jiva tattva. I am pretty, I do make mistakes. In my honesty, I can really recognize that and be honest about that. But I can also respect that this tiny part of Krishna somehow wants to learn how to love Krishna. And I can respect that. I can respect that, all of you are on this noble path and this noble journey to really transform our consciousness and purify our consciousness and somehow let go of our old habits which have kept us bound up here. So I can respect each and every one of you on this journey, because it's a noble journey and it's a challenging journey. We're swimming upstream. It's not something that everybody everywhere is doing. So we want to encourage one another, because it is a really challenging path. And luckily we have the holy name, because if we didn't have the holy name, there would be no way we could get out of this place. No way, no way. So the holy name helps us. It churns us. It brings up the things that we need to look at. It brings up what we need to work on. It helps us. It helps us all the time. It's helping us. But if we continue to hold on, Krishna, and Krishna in the form of his holy name, will not force us to let go. If we continue to hold on and continue to hold on to our activities which are less than beneficial for our spiritual life, they will not force us to let go. They might make it obvious to us, and they might make it excruciating to hold on, and then we might let go. However, they won't force us to let go. They will just encourage us. Did that help with your question? Did that help you? Yes?
Yes, Mataji. So about tolerance, can you please tell a little bit, Mataji?
Tolerance. Yes, tolerance. We tend to kind of use the word tolerance as another word for suppression. Look, so I'm just going to tolerate those people, my friends. I'm just going to tolerate them. But if we're tolerating in that way, there's going to be some time when we can't tolerate it anymore, and it's all going to come out because we're just suppressing. So in my understanding, what I've come to understand, and Prabhupada explained it at one point when he was on the Jaladuta, he said one has to be very tolerant and forgiving, like he was tolerant and forgiving of the people on the ship that didn't know much about spiritual life. And we tolerate the happiness and distress that come and go. We tolerate them, and as we learn to not resist what comes our way, we can actually get a blessing from what comes our way. So to me, tolerance is more of forgiving others, understanding, and also accepting rather than resisting. So to me, that's what tolerance is, and that's helped me in my growth, because the other kind of tolerance is usually just suppression. And when you push things down and you put them in a pot, like a pressure cooker, and you turn on the heat, eventually, if you don't turn down the heat, or the pressure could blow off the lid. So we don't want to suppress. Toleration is more forgiving, and not resisting whatever comes our way, but using it as a way to learn and grow. Does that make sense? I'm aware of the time, and it's after 9. It's 9:04, and I know you all have many services, and I don't want to interfere with any of the temple services. So I want to say, I'm sorry? 9:10? Okay, we have 6 minutes.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam.
Please.
So my question is,
I can't see you. Where are you? Okay, there are. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
so from the beginning of this class, starting with Jai Radha Madhava, when I hear you, I feel that you are very blissful in singing as well as giving the class. So how to how to develop that mood of being blissful in our Krishna consciousness?
Well, in 2 minutes or less. Basically, we want to be able to integrate the pain and the purification of our life. We want to be able to receive the blessings on all different levels, whatever way they come. And as we receive them and integrate them, we even see the things that seem to be negative. We can see that they're Krishna wanting us to grow and helping us to get a bigger perspective. And the more that we receive rather than resist, and I don't mean being a doormat. I don't mean receive all kinds of abuse, but I mean using our intelligence and receiving, okay, what can I learn from this? Maybe I'll learn that I never want to treat somebody abusively, and maybe I'll learn that I don't want to be with people who are abusive, but I don't resist it, and I don't necessarily gossip or badmouth another person. So that's non-resistance. And then I think joy comes from finding our soul self. And our soul self is covered by a lot of different layers of pain and misconception and proving and comparing and producing. Our soul is covered by a lot of different layers. I explain these in the book. There's like at least 6 layers of false ego. And then we try to paste Krishna consciousness on top of those layers. It can't stick on top of those lies. So really peeling away the lies, peeling away the things that we carry from the past, and peeling away the fear of the future. As we peel all those layers, we come to a place of, not that I'm there, but we do come to a place of that's a little bit more clear. The space is, we've cleared some of the clutter out of the way. And when we clear the clutter of the mind and the voices in our head and our past upsets and disturbances, and we clear away the expectations of the future and how we think it should look and how people should be, when we clear those away, then we have a chance to be in the present moment. And in the present moment is the only moment that we have the opportunity to really shift our consciousness. We can't change the past because it's gone, and we can't change the future because it hasn't happened yet. But in this one moment of today, of this one moment, I can monitor myself and how am I behaving, and am I behaving in a way that's really aligned with my soul? Am I behaving in a way that feels in alignment with who I really want to be and who I really am, even if I'm not fully that now, but is it in alignment with that? And as we keep aligning with that and practicing alignment, it's like going to a chiropractor. If we're out of alignment, and we've been out of alignment for a long time, we may need to go to the chiropractor many times because now the muscles have compensated for that out of alignment. So as the chiropractor keeps putting us in alignment, our muscles start to get strong, and then we can stay in alignment. And that aligning with our soul self of who we want to be, who we really are, and who we can practice knowing ourselves to be, we can be in this one moment. And then it's a lot simpler, and it's a lot easier to be joyful. If we carry all the burdens from the past, that's a really heavy load. And if we try to suppress everything and push it down, that takes a lot of energy. And it's hard to be joyful when you're using all your energy to keep everything under the covers. So when we clear the space, we can breathe easier. We're not carrying such a heavy load, and we can just express from our heart and be more our true self. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's 9:10. Can I get off the hot seat now? No, I mean, thank you so much. I don't want to interfere with your schedule. If anybody has any other questions or thoughts, you can come up after the class because I don't want to interfere with the temple schedule. I know there's so much that needs to be done. If anybody wants to come up after the class, I'll be signing books, and if there's more questions, write them down and maybe we can talk about them at another point in time, or you can discuss them amongst yourselves. Thank you so much for your time and your attention and your wonderful questions. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Let us thank Mataji by loudly chanting once. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The books are available and Mataji is there. Mataji will sign those who buy the books now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.